Hey everyone, this is Rod1 with Core Dynamic Systems, here to show you the version 17B of the FX14 multi-role transforming fighter. So I designed this as a modern pseudo World War II-esque fighter. So features up the wazoo with her. We'll start with, we've got our ailerons and our elevators. If we go activation group 1, ailerons, and then we've got a secondary set of elevators, and then our trim will operate the flaps. Whereas activation group 1 off, the flaps do not work. The smoke pods on the left and the right require activation group 1 on as well. So then we'll taxi out to the runway here. So activation group 2 is going to be our wing modification mode and water mode and carrier landing mode. You notice the rear tail wheel has a maximum deflection of about 4 degrees unless you give the plane some roll, and then it'll go 70 degrees. So that way you can get that pinpoint turning when you need it, but it's stable the rest of the time. If we go activation group 2 and then maximum VTOL, then activation group 2 off, that'll lock that in place, and we've got our collapsed wings. Zero the VTOL out, double tap 2, bring the wings back out, and then we're actually going to want minimum VTOL, and that'll give us completely horizontal wings, so we get the maximum amount of lift, because she is totally loaded up and pretty darn heavy initially. We've got 2 GAU-19A 6 barrels flanking the fuselage there, and then 1 GUA-8 Avengers from the A-10 Warthog under the nose. We've got a fuel tank on the wings here, and then 1 in the nose there. Additional fuel pod here. To drop that, you'll select air to ground mode and select torpedo, and then we can drop the fuel pod. Doesn't actually work as a torpedo, incidentally. 2 GBU-24s, which are the Boom 50s, a whole bunch of Boom 50s, and these little winglets will pop out when we drop those. Got 2 Mavericks using the cleaver model. Water floats here, and then a split one here on the tail. 2 MK-84s, 3 Infernos, 3 Guardians, well 6 because there's on both wings obviously, and then this is a double set of rocket pods and our smoke generator. Under here we've got the second set of rudders for navigating in the water. We've got our contra-rotor propellers on our main engines, and then the turbine here is controlled by our VTOL when we're in the VTOL mode. We activate 3 and go positive VTOL. You can see that kick off. In the tail, we've got our countermeasures here. We'll need activation group 1 active to use those. Hitting the countermeasure button will also drop our smoke generators. Activation group 6 will enable the brake rotor. Landing gear up will extend that to twice this length. You'll want to use that below 300 miles per hour or it'll rip off. And I haven't found a workaround to not have this self-destruct in slow motion as of yet. Brakes off, or activation group 6 off to retract. Activation group 7 will eject the brake rotor, and there's a jet engine hidden back inside of there. Activation group 8 will disable the main engines. Activation group 5 will drop all of our ordnance. The guns will only fire with the landing gear up, and these chutes on each one of them will eject the spare shells. All that being said, we're in our landing configuration, or our takeoff configuration rather. We've got our 1 through 8 for our activation groups here to tell us what's active. H is for hook here. This is our wing control. This is our horizontal rudder for the tips of the wings, which that'll deploy with the landing gear down. And we adjust the VTOL. You can see what position the wings are with this display here. So that's blue for water, green is for VTOL, brown would have been for driving, but that's no longer a mode. Activation group 4 used to engage a car engine. That's since been removed since I've streamlined the plane. So now the only thing that happens is it'll engage a secondary gyro, and you'll be able to control the ride height of the aircraft. Okay, so we're going to want a nominal 150 to 175 miles per hour for takeoff. Full flaps, wings at maximum lift. backs up. And you can see that tails now come together to allow better steering in the air, of course, but also to allow steering on the water. We'll go ahead and fire our smoke generators off there. And then let's drop the bomb on this guy. Demo the guns here for you. That's a lot of firepower. One good straight rerun on the beast should be able to just about take it out. Let's see what we got lucky here. Looks like a miss. Let's ditch the smoke pods. They're going long this time. Trying to bomb ships is kind of a tricky endeavor. So let's go ahead and just take them out with the cleavers here. That's alright. Go for a VTOL takeoff this time. We're almost full VTOL here. At the top of that green dot. Full power to engines, and give it a little bit forward stick. Off and bring everything forward, zeroing out that VTOL. 175, we can disable the VTOL mode, turn activation group 1 on. Let's go for a carrier. So carrier down. And flaps. So if you're landing with it heavy like I am, you're going to want plenty of speed to maintain lift. So I'm using the brakes in combination with the throttle to maintain speed here. Just brakes off, decrease throttle though, that works just as good. XF14 calling the ball. Okay. VTOL all the way up to off and then on, off again. Okay, and then we're gonna give it a little bit of roll, maximum turn rate, get this deck clear. Okay, so then parking on the carrier, we're going to want to go trim all the way to the top. That's going to extend our tie downs, activation group 8 off, and that locks us in place. So we'll coast back here for a second until we come to the end of our rope, and then we're good to go. So, engine's back on, zero the trim out, zero the VTOL out. Say we take out the beast now. Boom. Let's get rid of our fuel pod there. Box 3. Box 3. Splash target. Let's go inspect that. Remnants here. There are no remnants. Okay. So that brake rotor actually works really well for slowing you down when you're in the water. But there is an additional brake surface there on the rudder. So then with those 3 points of contact, we can control our direction really well. If we wanted to, we could enable the VTOL mode, and that would give us additional torque, but I haven't found that I ever need it. So then there is a nozzle there for that jet engine also. So that pretty much concludes the XF14 tutorial, I guess I'd say.